The air was heavy with the scent of burning wood as twilight descended upon the ancient town square. Bells tolled from the stone chapel, their somber notes echoing through the cobblestone streets. For centuries, Christmas has been a cornerstone of cultural and religious life, evolving into the vibrant celebration we recognize today. But to truly understand the holiday's origins, we must journey back in time, long before Christmas lights and commercial jingles, to uncover the story of how the holiday as we know it came to be. This is a tale of transformation, faith, and tradition, rooted deeply in the history of humanity's most cherished winter celebration. In the early centuries after Christ's death, Christmas was not yet a widely observed holiday. For the early Christian Church, the resurrection of Christ held far greater importance than his birth. Easter was the focal point of the liturgical calendar, celebrated with elaborate rituals and communal feasts. The idea of commemorating Christ's birth did not gain traction until the 4th century, a time of great change and consolidation within the Church. By then, Christianity had emerged from centuries of persecution to become the official religion of the Roman Empire under Emperor Constantine. This newfound legitimacy gave the Church the opportunity to establish its own traditions, free from the shadows of secrecy and fear. But why December 25th? Scholars believe the date was chosen strategically, coinciding with existing pagan festivals that celebrated the winter solstice. The solstice, a time when the days began to grow longer, symbolized hope and renewal, a perfect parallel to the birth of Christ. In ancient Rome, the festival of Saturnalia honored the god Saturn with feasting, gift-giving, and merriment. Similarly, the Persian cult of Mithras celebrated the rebirth of the sun on December 25th. By aligning Christmas with these popular festivities, the Church sought to ease the transition for converts, blending familiar customs with Christian theology. The first recorded celebration of Christmas on December 25th occurred in Rome in the year 336. This marked a significant turning point, as the holiday began to spread throughout the Christian world. Yet its adoption was far from uniform. Different regions incorporated their own traditions, creating a rich tapestry of customs that reflected the diverse cultures of the early Church. In the Eastern Orthodox tradition, January 6th, Epiphany, remained the primary celebration, commemorating both the visit of the Magi and Christ's baptism. Over time, these dual observances merged in many places, giving rise to the 12 days of Christmas, a period of extended festivity and reflection. By the early Middle Ages, Christmas had firmly established itself as a major feast within the Christian calendar. The holiday was marked by solemn masses, communal feasting, and the performance of liturgical dramas that brought the nativity story to life. Yet, beneath the veneer of religious devotion, echoes of older pagan traditions persisted. In Northern Europe, Yule, a midwinter festival celebrated by Germanic peoples, left an indelible mark on Christmas customs. The Yule log, evergreen wreaths, and even the practice of caroling have their roots in these ancient rituals, transformed and reinterpreted through the lens of Christian faith. For the people of the Middle Ages, Christmas was both a spiritual and social event. It was a time to honor the birth of Christ and to reaffirm the bonds of community. Churches were adorned with greenery, candles, and nativity scenes, while villages came alive with music, dancing, and feasting. The holiday offered a rare respite from the hardships of daily life, providing both material and emotional nourishment. Families exchanged simple gifts, often homemade, as tokens of love and goodwill. These traditions, while humble by modern standards, carried profound meaning, reflecting the values of generosity and gratitude. As the holiday of Christmas continued to evolve, Its spread across Europe brought both unity and diversity to its celebration. By the High Middle Ages, Christmas had become a cornerstone of communal life, but the ways in which it was observed varied widely between regions. From the grand cathedrals of France to the snow-covered villages of Scandinavia, the holiday was shaped by local customs, climates, and traditions, each adding a unique thread to the tapestry of Christmas. In England, Christmas took on a particularly festive character during this period. The holiday was a time for feasting and revelry, with manor houses hosting banquets that showcased the bounty of the season. Roasted meats, spiced puddings, and mulled wines graced the tables of the wealthy, while even the poorest households found ways to make their meals special. Wassailing, a practice that combined singing, drinking, and community spirit, became a hallmark of the season. Groups of villagers would go from house to house, offering songs and blessings in exchange for food and drink. The wassail bowl, often filled with spiced cider or ale, was both a literal and symbolic centerpiece of these gatherings, representing warmth, abundance, and good cheer. In contrast, the harsh winters of Scandinavia lent a quieter, more introspective tone to Christmas celebrations. Here, the influence of Yule was particularly strong, blending seamlessly with Christian traditions. Families gathered around roaring hearths, the flames a symbol of hope and resilience against the encroaching darkness. Yule logs were burned not only for warmth but also as a spiritual act, their steady glow believed to bring protection and prosperity. The northern lights, dancing across the icy skies, added a mystical quality to the season, their ethereal beauty inspiring tales of divine intervention and celestial wonder. Central Europe, with its bustling market towns and dense forests, gave rise to traditions that continue to define Christmas to this day. The Christmas tree, now an iconic symbol of the holiday, traces its origins to these regions. Early trees were not decorated with tinsel and lights but with fruits, nuts, and candles, their simple adornments a reflection of the modest means of the time. The markets themselves became a vital part of the season, offering not only goods but also a space for communal celebration. Stalls filled with handmade crafts, spiced gingerbread, and steaming mulled wine created an atmosphere of warmth and abundance, drawing villagers together in the spirit of the holiday. The role of the church in shaping Christmas during this period cannot be overstated. Religious leaders saw the holiday as an opportunity to reinforce Christian teachings and to bring communities closer to the faith. The Nativity story, with its themes of humility and redemption, was brought to life through elaborate pageants and dramas. These performances, held in churches and village squares, were both educational and entertaining, ensuring that even the illiterate could understand the significance of Christ's birth. Choirs sang carols that celebrated the divine mystery of the season, their harmonies filling the sacred spaces with a sense of awe and reverence. Yet, not all aspects of medieval Christmas were solemn. The season also brought a sense of mischief and inversion, embodied by traditions such as the Feast of Fools and the Boy Bishop. These events, held during the 12 days of Christmas, allowed for a temporary suspension of the social order. Peasants could play the roles of kings, and children could preside over mock ceremonies, their playful antics a reminder of the season's capacity for joy and renewal. For families like that of Henri, these moments of levity provided a much-needed break from the challenges of daily life, their laughter echoing through the village as they joined in the revelry. The rhythms of Christmas in the Middle Ages were inseparable from the cycles of nature and the traditions that predated Christianity. As the 12 days of Christmas unfolded, each day brought a new wave of customs and activities that intertwined faith, folklore, and communal joy. For the people of medieval Europe, These days were not simply an extension of the holiday but an opportunity to deepen its meaning, to celebrate resilience, and to embrace the promise of renewal. One of the most distinctive aspects of the medieval Christmas season was the practice of feasting, which reached its height during the 12 days. In many households, the grandest meals were reserved for the days following Christmas Day, with New Year's feasts and Twelfth Night celebrations marking the culmination of the season. These meals were lavish by the standards of the time, featuring roasted meats, fresh-baked breads, and spiced wines. Even families of modest means found ways to enhance their tables, pooling resources and labor to create meals that symbolized abundance and community. For Henri and his neighbors, the shared feasts in the village square were a highlight of the season. Long wooden tables were set up beneath the stars, the cold winter air softened by the warmth of fires and the buzz of conversation. Laughter echoed through the night as families exchanged stories and toasts, their spirits lifted by the simple act of coming together. Amidst the feasting, storytelling played a central role in the celebrations. The oral traditions of the Middle Ages were rich and varied, encompassing tales of saints, legends of miraculous events, and local folklore. By the glow of candlelight or the flicker of a hearth fire, families and neighbors gathered to share these stories, their voices weaving a tapestry of wonder and faith. One popular tale told during the 12 days was that of Saint Nicholas, whose acts of kindness and generosity became a model for the spirit of giving. For children like Claire, these stories were a source of magic and inspiration, their lessons carrying forward long after the season had ended. The Church played an equally important role during the 12 days, using this extended period to reinforce the teachings of the faith. Special masses were held on key days, each with its own focus and significance. December 26th, the feast of Saint Stephen, was dedicated to acts of charity and service, a reminder of the importance of helping those in need. January 1st, the feast of the circumcision, marked the beginning of the new year with prayers for health and prosperity. Twelfth Night, or Epiphany, commemorated the visit of the Magi, bringing the season full circle with its themes of humility and devotion. The 12 days of Christmas were also a time of mischief and merriment, reflected in customs that allowed for a temporary suspension of societal norms. In many regions, the Lord of Misrule was appointed to preside over the revelry, turning the social order upside down with playful antics and mock ceremonies. This tradition, rooted in the Roman festival of Saturnalia, carried forward the idea that even the strict hierarchies of the Middle Ages could bend in the spirit of the season. For Henry's village, these moments of levity provided a welcome contrast to the solemnity of the church services. Children played games that mimicked the roles of kings and bishops, their laughter a reminder of the joy that lay at the heart of the holiday. The 12 days culminated in Epiphany, a day that was both solemn and celebratory. The church's nativity scene took on new significance, its figures of the Magi representing the fulfillment of the season's promises. In Henry's household, the final meal of Christmas was marked by a cake shaped like a crown, its rich flavors a rare indulgence. The family gathered around the table, their gratitude palpable as they shared stories of the past year and hopes for the one to come. "We are blessed," Henri said, his voice steady with conviction, "not because of what we have, but because of what we share." As the Epiphany celebrations drew to a close, a quiet calm settled over the village. The festive lights of the church dimmed, and the evergreen boughs that had adorned homes and altars were carefully removed. Yet, the spirit of Christmas lingered, carried forward in the hearts of the villagers as they returned to the rhythms of daily life. For Henri and his family, The lessons of the season were not confined to the 12 days but became a guiding force for the months ahead. In the days following Epiphany, the village chapel hosted one final Mass to mark the transition from the holiday season back to ordinary time. Father Thomas spoke of the Magi's journey, emphasizing their faith and perseverance in following the star to Bethlehem. The gifts they brought, he said, were symbols of their devotion, but their true offering was their belief. Henri listened intently, reflecting on his own contributions to the season. The iron star he had crafted for the nativity scene now hung in a place of honor in the chapel, its simplicity a testament to the power of small, heartfelt acts. The transition back to daily life was marked by a renewed sense of purpose. For Henri, this meant returning to his forge with a deeper appreciation for his craft. Each tool he created became more than an object of utility. It was a symbol of his role in the community. The plows he shaped would help farmers till the frozen earth, and the nails he forged would hold together the homes that sheltered his neighbors. His work, though humble, carried the echoes of the season's teachings: resilience, generosity, and faith. For Claire, the end of Christmas did not mean the end of its magic. The wooden angel her father had carved remained on her shelf, a constant reminder of the joy they had shared. At school, she eagerly recounted the stories she had heard during the 12 days, from the journey of the Magi to the playful antics of the Lord of Misrule. These tales, rich with lessons of humility and kindness, became a source of inspiration for her young mind. As she helped her mother with chores or played with her friends, she carried with her the spirit of the season, finding ways to spread its warmth in small, thoughtful gestures. The weeks turned into months, and winter began to loosen its grip. The first signs of spring appeared in the form of delicate buds on the trees and the faint chirping of birds. Yet, the memories of Christmas remained vivid in the minds of the villagers. The feasts, the songs, the shared stories. They were not just fleeting moments of joy but threads in the fabric of their lives. For Marguerite, the holiday had reinforced her belief in the power of community. "We are stronger together," she often said, echoing the words of Father Thomas during the Christmas Eve sermon. Her acts of kindness, whether baking bread for a neighbor or sewing a new garment for a child in need, became her way of honoring the season. As the years passed, the traditions of Christmas evolved, shaped by the changing times and the enduring influence of faith. The simple customs of Henry's village gave way to more elaborate celebrations, but their essence remained unchanged. The evergreen wreaths, the candlelit masses, and the nativity scenes continued to remind generations of the holiday's true meaning. For the villagers, Christmas was not merely an event but a reflection of their shared values. A season of light in the darkness, of hope in the face of hardship, and of connection in a world often marked by isolation. Looking back, the story of Christmas in the Middle Ages offers a timeless lesson. It reminds us that the holiday's magic lies not in its trappings but in its heart. Whether through a simple wooden angel or a grand feast, the true gift of Christmas is the love and generosity we share with one another. As we carry these traditions forward, let us remember the resilience of those who came before us, who found light even in the darkest of winters. Their legacy lives on, a beacon of hope that continues to guide us through the seasons of our own lives.